2, 1. We are live now. You can start. Sir, you can start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar series 25. CA Rajiv Gupta is going to enlighten us on the topic upskilling. Rajiv Gupta is a data science leader and subject matter expert in emerging roles, governance, and driving organization and group head of internal audits at Flipkart Internet, a Walmart Group company. Prior to this, he has worked as Senior Vice President of Global Audits at DECO, Head of Internal Controls for India and Southwest Asia at Coca-Cola, and Assurance Manager with PwC in India and London. He's the author of Technical Guide on Internal Audit of Beverage Industry, published by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In year 2022, he has been recognized as one of the top 20 thought leaders in India in the domain of audit and governance. He's a guest speaker with various professional bodies, including IIM Bangalore, ACFE, Institute of Chartered Accountants, ISACA, the Institute of Internal Auditors, and National Academy of Direct Taxes. I would request Rajiv sir to start with the topic for today.
Thank you so much, Maloni. And let me start sharing my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it is visible.
Super. So good evening, everyone. So today I will be talking about sharing some of my experience and learnings in the space of emerging technologies in internal audit and what we need to do as professional to keep ourselves updated in that space. Firstly, to start with some of the recent developments. Very recently there has been a situation in Hong Kong where these scamsters they used deepfake to impersonate the CFO of a company. So what the fraudster did, they used the YouTube video of the CFO. Just like, for example, our video, our this Zoom call is getting recorded and it will be available on ICI's YouTube channel. Similarly, that CFO's videos were also on YouTube. Someone used a deepfake website to impersonate this CFO using these YouTube videos. And this fake CFO joined Zoom calls of the company. And in that Zoom call, he asked the payment in charge to make around 15 different payments to 5 different accounts, whereby 200 crores equivalent of Hong Kong dollars were made as unauthorized payments. And all this happened by one video call where the CFO was there, that was actually fake. In that video Zoom call, the CFO was giving instructions. And after that Zoom call, that fake CFO continued giving instructions through the chat messaging, WhatsApp or whatever is being used in Hong Kong. So this is one example of how some of the emerging technologies are being used in a manner for which our colleagues are not aware how to handle it. Now think about it. Today, we are living in a hybrid world. This is also a virtual training where we are having this webinar. Many organizations are working in a hybrid mode where some employees, some colleagues are working from home, some are working from office. And hence, the Zoom calls are the only source of not only the main source of communication between them. Now, if in that Zoom call their boss joins, which is actually fake, and gives instructions to do something, how are we gonna retrain our colleagues whether to trust your boss on the Zoom or not? So this is one challenge which we are facing today. Similarly, coming back to India, the Nitin Kamath, who is the CEO, the founder, co-founder of Zerodha, he has also shared his own deepfake video, and that was very popular on YouTube, where he said, "Okay, if my own deepfake video is so real, how you are going to take care of the future threats which this emerging technologies, artificial intelligence and machine learning, including deep learning, how they're going to increase the risk landscape around us, around our business and the ways we operate." So just keep these a couple of cases in mind. These are only two which I'm sharing, but there are many more. If you Google, you will find many cases happening in India, cases happening across the globe. Recently, there was one case even in Hyderabad where the company was defrauded using the deep fake video again. Keeping that in mind, another question which is coming, these days, which is disturbing not only internal auditors but many professionals, is will AI replace us tomorrow? If we are doing audits today, tomorrow companies, is it possible that company may say, we don't need you, आपका काम खत्म हो गया है. Now we have hired bots or robots or deep learning to do audits on your behalf. So we'll uncover this in this session, and by the end of this session, we will be able to know what is going to happen. Yeah, so that's something which we'll cover. This is one of the very popular message from the CEO of Nokia, and this was during his emotional interview where he made one very interesting statement. He said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." And I'm sure many of you who are on this webinar would have used Nokia phone at some point in time. Those were highly dependable phones. In fact, maybe 75 to 80% or maybe more of the market share of mobile phones was with Nokia at that point in time. And you could trust Nokia phone more than a brick. If you have to hit someone, Nokia phone was actually much more reliable than the bricks. That was where Nokia was, and today you don't see it anywhere. And there was no fraud in Nokia company, which made them, almost get extincted. There was nothing else, no problem. There was one thing which made them, go away, and that exactly is the reason why you don't see much of the ambassador cars around you. That is why you don't see Kodak cameras around you. That is why you don't see, maybe if I go some time back, Rajdoot motorcycles you don't see around you. The same reason you don't see Nokia around you, and we'll go deeper into it in this session. So when emerging technologies like deepfake is coming, when the age-old organizations like Nokia, Kodak, and others, they are failing to coexist in this environment. Why it is happening? So some of the reasons I wanted to discuss today. One of the reasons is the world around us. It is changing very, very fast. And if for example today the focus of the audit committees, the boards, they are asking the company how they are going to become more responsible as an organization. Earlier we used to talk about CSR. Now the audit committee and the boards are asking about ESG. How the CEOs and the CFOs, they are making sure that we are operating in a responsible way, responsible towards environment, responsible towards society, and responsible towards running a well-governed organization. So those questions, when they are being asked, the older ways of working won't make the board, won't make the audit committees happy. Regulatory environment is changing very fast. GDPR is anyways there. Now DPDP Act has come. While all of us are waiting for the rules to be framed and communicated, but it is going to be reality very soon. So that is going to change the way many of the organizations which use personally identifiable information, their ways of working has to change. Now, if their ways of working has to change, the way auditors audit them and what all we audit them, that is going to change. Technology is changing very fast. We saw examples of deep fake, cyber threats. Let me share with you. Years ago, how the denial of service or distributed denial of service attacks used to happen. There used to be a coder, a hacker. He will write a code and then he will push it on the network. Now, if that code is trying to attack, say, 1,000 organizations, it will try to hack those. Now, if the security configuration of, for example, 990 of those companies is good, the code will be able to hack only 10 of those organizations, and then it will be over. So what the hacker used to do earlier, if he wants to hack into those 990 strong controls organization, he has to change the code. He has to keep evolving his code to hack them. Now with emerging technologies like AI, what they are doing, they are writing AI-driven codes. What it does, when it is trying to hack the organization, if the controls are strong, the code it's changing itself. It is not coming back to the hacker to change the code. Code is saying, okay, my attack number 1 didn't work. Let me change my own code and try attack number 2. If attack number 2 doesn't work, it will change the code itself. And it will try attack number 3, 4. It will continue doing it till all the options available with that code are exhausted. So these are AI-driven cyber attacks, which are becoming very, very common now. So the beauty is the hackers are having a lot of free time now. They are not busy. They are writing code once, and then the code itself is doing all the revisions, revision version number 1, version number 2, version number 3. So in that type of environment, when the version 2 is going to come very fast, version 3 is going to come very fast, the security configuration of your organization, the network security, firewalls and all those have to be top-notch. If they have to be top-notch, the IT auditors, the IT internal auditors also need to be fully aware of how the cyber threats are becoming advanced, how cyber threats are using emerging technologies. One example I just shared with you. There are many more examples, many more ways in which today the cyber threats are becoming more advanced. So in that case, there is need for all of us, especially are those team members who are into IT audit space. There is a need for them to keep upskilling themselves so that they can continue playing the cat and the mouse race with the friend sitting on the other side as the hackers of the network. And the next is AI/ML impact. I talked about it. The next one is complex global supply chain. Now this is it's very interesting. Before COVID, all the entire world was very happy that let us keep China and maybe Bangladesh and a few more countries as our supply chain hub. So all the dirty work, all the low level job, we will leave it with China and other such countries, and we will continue working only on the high salary, high value jobs. But after COVID, when the relation with China got impacted, companies have started evaluating regionalization of supply chain. So they are saying, okay, let China, for example, continue to be our primary supplier, but we need a backup plan. Different companies started calling it by different names. Someone is saying China plus one policy. Someone is saying regionalization of supply chain, and different names. So the idea is now, one of the checks which we perform as part of the procurement audit is, we say, if, for example, tissue paper had to be procured, have we, and if three quotations had to be taken, have we purchased from the L1 vendor? L1 means the lowest cost vendor. Now, suppose if the lowest cost vendor is in China, auditors' expectation used to be that, okay, the company has purchased that tissue paper from China or not. Now companies are saying, sorry, we cannot be 100% dependent on one supplier. So they may be supplying they may be buying maybe 50% or 60% from L1, but they may also be buying 20, 30, 40% from L2 vendors who may be other than China. The idea is to make sure that we continue to have working relation with other suppliers also, so that if there is a need to stop buying from the primary supplier, these other suppliers, we have working relation with them. In that case, our audit approach, our expectation as auditor has to change. The companies may not be really interested in the lowest cost supplier, which may be China, which may be Bangladesh, it may be Vietnam as well. So those ways of working of supply chain is changing, and hence we need to be, as internal auditors, fully aware what is happening in our business and how the global organizations are changing their ways of working, especially after the pandemic. Yeah. So those were few set of changes which were happening around us. Another important change is the new age organizations which are coming. So if you talk about for example, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber of the world, you will see that their enterprise IT model is very different from the traditional brick and mortar organizations. So brick and mortar organizations, let's say Unilevers of the world, Coca-Colas of the world, Reliance, Adani's, and all those. These are traditional brick and mortar businesses. If you compare them with the new age organizations, there are four very significant differences you will find them. Very, very significant. And these four are the acronym which is used in business term is called SMAC, where S stands for social, where we say that the new age organizations, where you will find them more. The traditional organizations, you will see that they have head office, they have their regional offices, they have their city-wise local offices, and so on. They have their factories. But the new age organizations, you will find them all the more on social media. Why social media? Because these new age organizations say our clients, our prospective customers, they are spending more time on social media like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and others. So we will open our shop on social media. We will target our marketing budget, our ads budget on social media, rather than spending our budget in setting up big offices or too many offices or too many showrooms and all those. So they are primarily on social media. They are Second is mobile. So all the new age organizations, they are saying we don't need to invest in physical real estate. They are saying the real estate for us is this 3x6 mobile phone, which our customers are holding in their hands. That is the real estate all these new age companies they are targeting. And that is why you will see whether you use Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart, whichever app, you're opening those apps on your mobile phone. You don't say, let me open my laptop. Let me open my desktop computer to order something from any of these new age companies. You're ordering them on mobile. Hence, all these companies, they make sure that they are targeting you on mobile. And hence, they have their mobile app first, rather than focusing too much on the web applications. Third is analytics. These new age organizations, they are saying that if my customer is available on mobile and that too primarily on social media, how I can make the best use of the time my customer is spending on social media. So for example, if say if Rajiv Gupta is spending, say, in a day 1 hour on Instagram, in that 1 hour, how much maximum how much maximum value order we can get from Rajiv. So for that, when I'm scrolling Instagram, they and now all these companies, they are having thousands and thousands of products they are selling. If they show me just a random ad of one of the product they are selling, I may not be interested. For example, if I have already purchased a phone recently, and if they keep on showing me ad of iPhone 16, which has recently been launched, I may not be interested because I have just procured a phone, purchased a phone. But since they are tracking me on social media and they may have cookies and all those, they can see that, oh, Rajiv Gupta is interested in buying a laptop. So when I'm scrolling Instagram or maybe TikTok, then if they show me ad of the configuration of the laptop which I'm searching, and if they show me an offer that, oh, 20% extra discount if you buy next 15 minutes or something, it is highly possible that I may click on that link and may make a purchase. Similarly, if for example Miloni is looking for, say, an iPad, if she's also getting an ad of a laptop, that won't work for her because she's not interested in laptop. She's looking for an iPad. Now, when she's scrolling in her account, these new age organizations, these Amazon, Flipkart, and all those, they would like to show her the ad of the type of iPad she's looking for, and the special offer being created for her. How these new age organizations are doing it? They are doing it with the help of analytics being performed using machine learning, and that is what they are leveraging, and hence that is why they are putting a battery of data scientists in the background to make sure that in the shortest possible time, how they can uh, um, how they can encourage you to make that purchase by two ways. Number one, by showing you the product you are looking for, and by giving you a hint that this particular offer has been created specifically for you, and it is a limited time offer. After that, you have to, if you don't use this offer, you have to go back to the app again and buy it at a regular price. So analytics are getting used for that. The last is these new age organizations are saying, if we have to grow exponentially fast, then we cannot have big server rooms and server farms with us. Because if they set up a server room, or if they have their own physical servers, tomorrow, if they want to double the size, if they want to become 2x, then they need to have, most probably, they need to have double the servers, more capacity has to be added. Uh, that will slow them down. So, for example, now Diwali season, the festive season is coming, then Christmas will be there. In that period, the sale of these organizations doesn't become only 2x, which means it doesn't double up only, it becomes multifold. In that case, they don't know exactly how much traffic will come. And that is why these organizations, they are highly relying on cloud services, which may be from Amazon, maybe Microsoft, maybe Google. And the advantage of cloud is, the moment they see that, okay, my traffic today is going to be 5x, 500%, they can get their capacity, their server capacity increased within a day, actually within few minutes, from X to 5x. Obviously, the fees which they pay to the cloud service provider, it will increase, but that is fine. They don't need to invest on the hardware. They don't need to wait in getting that hardware from the suppliers, maybe HP or others, getting those installed, getting your company's operating system image onto it, connecting it to your network, and all those things. You don't need to do it. You just many times you get a console from these cloud service provider where you, as the admin, you means your IT team as an admin, they get an access to themselves upgrade, or they can speak with their a relationship manager to get the capacity increased in a matter of few minutes. So that's the cloud part of it. So if you see this social, mobile, analytics, and cloud, these four aspects, they are making these new age companies super, super flexible, super agile, and they can grow exponentially fast within matter of days. They don't need to invest in setting up factories. They don't need to invest in in hiring hundreds and thousands of employees to deliver more. Their delivery is primarily through their app, which they have created, and that app is focusing on these four aspects. And to give you some numbers around it, ladies and gentlemen, if you see the market cap of the biggest paint company in India, which is Asian Paint, I think it is around 3 lakh crore. Yeah, that's approximately, that's the market cap of Asian Paints. The market cap of ITC, the conglomerate in India, who have their hotels as well, it is around maybe 5 to 6 lakhs crore. And these companies are having hotels, factories, they employ thousands and thousands of employees. On the other hand, you have a new age company like Zomato, which is around maybe 10 to 15-year-old, has employees, but not as many as Asian Paints and ITC. And it recently went public, it means Zomato. And today its market cap is around 2 lakh crore. Asian Paint is 3 lakh crore. Zomato itself, today itself is around 2 lakh crore. So that is the exponential speed with which these new age organizations are increasing. Why? Because they are exploiting emerging technologies, because they are using the power of emerging technologies, be it through social media, be it through mobile, be it through analytics, or be it through the cloud technology. Now, if you are an internal auditor of any of these new age companies, what you were auditing in the past, or how you were auditing, or what were the big risks of your traditional companies, those big risks are not applicable to these organizations. These organizations, for example, as far as tech risk is concerned, how reliable is the cloud service provider becomes important. What type of agreement we have with them, what type of service level arrangement we have with that cloud service provider becomes very important. Now you may say, oh, Rajiv, if the cloud service provider is Microsoft or Google or maybe Amazon, why we need to worry? We need to worry because they have their menu card. How much money you are paying to them, based on that you get the type of services, quality of services, and the quality of service level agreements, SLAs. If you are paying them less, your SLA may be very less. For example, if you are putting your primary server, say Swiggy's, for example, app is running on, say, cloud of Amazon, and they, for example, they agreed for a very primary type of agreement with them, where SLA is around 80%, where they say, if your website goes down, which is on Amazon cloud, for example, then we will make them up in 20 hours. Now, 20 hours, if a mobile app is down like that of, e-commerce like Swiggy, they will lose many, many customers. They will lose revenue for almost one full day, and hence they can't afford it. Their management as well as internal auditor, they need to make sure that for their primary server, they have best-in-class SLA agreed with the cloud service provider. Now, let's take another example. If they have also put in one of their backend servers onto cloud, for example, their accounting server. Now, if the accounting server is down for a few hours, maybe 10 or 20, the company is not going to get closed. Accounting will get impacted for sure, but that being a support function, the company will still survive as long as the company is able to, number one, take orders from the customer, number two, deliver order to the customer. As long as these front-end functions are happening, even if their accounting system is down for 20 hours, the company is not going to get shut down. There, they may afford a slightly less aggressive SLA. So these are few examples of how the internal auditors of these new age companies, they need to look at the risk part of the business. Moving on, yeah. Moving on now, just like business is, the businesses are using emerging technologies. AI and ML is also coming into the finance side of the business. It is coming not only to finance; it is coming to functions beyond business. If you look at, for example, AI and ML driven fraud detection is happening, and banks and financial institutions are great example of it. You would have seen that if, for example, you have a credit card, you have been using that card for, petrol, you were using it for, grocery purchase and all those. Then all of a sudden, one day you thought of buying, say, diamond jewelry using that card. Your card limit is say 5 lakh rupee, and you went to say Tanishq and you swipe your card for only 1 lakh. Your limit is 5 lakh. The moment you swipe it, you will get a call from the customer care, from the fraud department of that bank, asking, sir, whether you have swiped the card, madam, whether you have swiped the card at so and so showroom for this much jewelry. Why? Because they are doing pattern analysis of your purchase. They are recording your historical pattern, and based on that, they are modeling you that this is how you behave as far as your credit card is concerned. And the moment you do something which is beyond your pattern, they are going to call you. And once you accept, then once you say, yes, this is a genuine transaction, I'm the one who has purchased the jewelry from this showroom, they will mark it as authorized transaction and it will become part of your pattern. So after a few months, again, if you go to a showroom and jewelry showroom and you buy similar value jewelry again, you won't get a call. You won't get it. But if you multiply, if you buy exponentially higher, for example, all of a sudden, instead of around 1 lakh rupee, you buy for 4 lakh rupee, you may get a call. So they are doing pattern analysis. And what is enabling pattern analysis? That is through machine learning. Now, if your company is identifying whether a transaction is fraudulent or not using machine learning algorithm, you as an internal auditor need to have that understanding of how this machine learning algorithm works, whether there is any subjectivity which has been put into it, whether any aspect has been missed into this algorithm. So unless you understand AI/ML, you won't be able to audit whether the algorithm, whether the pattern analysis has been well designed or not. So you will be missing auditing this portion. You will be missing identifying risk in this portion if you don't know how what you are seeing on the screen, whether it is robo-advisor, many these stock analyst organization apps are using. For example, Grow, 5paisa, Upstocks. There are many which are providing robo-advisory using quantitative analysis. Similarly, recommendation engine, algo trading is becoming very common. So for all these, codes were written once using ML, machine learning, and now those ML is actually interacting with you, whether it is chatbot, whether it is algo trading, and so on. The human, the coder who wrote these codes, he may be enjoying somewhere else. He may be sitting in Goa, he may be sitting in Las Vegas right now, enjoying his life. Whereas his code is working with you every day in, day out, in making things happen. Now, if your company has rolled out, suppose you are the internal auditor of this company which has rolled out algo trading scheme, now you will be asked by your audit committee to see whether the logic in the algo trading is correct or not. Now, how you are going to audit unless you know how these algo trading algorithms really work? You don't need to be the best in class in writing these codes, but you need to have the basic understanding of how these AI and ML algorithms actually work. So that's how the world around us is changing. Yeah. Uh, Now, when I talk about the data analysis, and when I talk about the need for upgrading, many of the chartered accountants, they come to me saying, Rajiv, this is not really relevant for us, because we as chartered accountants, we as working professionals, we have very good knowledge of Excel. You ask any formula, and we are the advanced users of Excel. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand that AI, ML, deep learning, which are components of data science, they are much beyond what you can expect Excel to do. Yeah, Excel is fantastic tool as far as some of the fundamental analysis are concerned. But there's my experience says that more than 99% of what you do, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm saying what you do in MS Excel, that 99% of that falls into the first bucket, which is descriptive analysis, which means you are basically finding with all the super complex formulas you may have learned using the Excel guides, you are finding what has happened. For example, uh, whether my product, whether the sale of my company's product, how much was my company's sale, whether the growth was 20% last versus last year, whether what was my cost, variable cost this month or this year, what is my fixed cost, all the what component, which means what happened. Those are the things which are answered through descriptive analytics, and that is where 99% of what you are doing falls into. But with the changing environment, with so much data available, and with so many advanced tools available to use that data, your business is also expecting you to also answer why this happened. Why? They don't really need you to tell them, oh, you're, for example, if you're auditor of Asian Paints, that, sir, your sale of premium paint was grew 20%, but the sale of your economy paint, it didn't grow that much. Oh, they already know. They are the business people. You may be telling them once in a year. They get that information every day from their sales team. There is no value add which you can do as far as telling them what happened. They would be looking for experts to understand why their economy paint didn't do well, why it happened. Now, please understand, to answer that why, multiple data sets have to be used. Not only sales data you need, you also need your expense related data. You may need your advertisement data. You may need your competitors' sales data. You may need your competitors' pricing data. You may need festivals data. A lot of internal and external data you will need. Now you may say, oh, Rajiv, this sounds complex. It sounds complex if you have to collect that data and analyze in Excel. But in machine learning, we do something called correlation analysis. Yeah. Through that correlation analysis, we identify, and that's something which happens in, for example, linear regression. Yeah, linear regression is one of the machine learning algorithm we use. It is one of the easiest one. And there, once you use linear regression, it tells you that the quantity of your sale which you are making, and for example, I'm in the paint industry right now. The quantity of paints you are selling is having 70% correlation with the advertisement expense you're doing. The quantity of paints you are selling is having 80% correlation with the timing of Diwali. It will tell you the quantity of paints you are selling is having X percentage relationship with what else? With the timing of IPL in India. Even that it can tell. And I will give you an example. Many years ago, and I shared this example in one of the recent conferences. Many years ago, what happened? I think this was Kapil Dev's World Cup 1983. He was not in best of his forms as far as batting is concerned. So in one of the match, he was hitting sixers and fours, 6 and 4s very, very well. Everybody was very pleasantly surprised. That time, the coach, Indian cricket coach, he saw that when Kapil Dev is playing so well, Sunil Gavaskar was standing near the boundary. Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, Sunil Gavaskar wanted to go for a loo break. So he wanted to go to washroom. The coach said, Khabardar, you will not move from here. Till the time Kapil is batting, you will continue standing. Sunil Gavaskar said, no, sir, I have to go to washroom. खूब pressure पड़ा है. उन्होंने कहा, whatever you do, you are not allowed to move from here. Yeah. Why coach said that? Coach thought that there is a correlation. There is a correlation between Sunil Gavaskar standing near the boundary with Kapil Dev's batting. And this correlation, we also use, many times we say, oh, since today I was watching the match sitting on this sofa, eating popcorn, that's why Virat Kohli played very well. Yeah, we also do that. What we are trying to do in our subconscious, we are trying to find correlation, which we say tukka, which we say, I forgot the name, very common Hindi word which we use. But in the back of our mind, we are basically trying to correlate. Linear regression does that. Yeah. And it does that with the help of data. So for example, if you really want to find out whether there was a correlation between Sunil Gavaskar standing on the boundary and Kapil Dev playing very well, you plot all the batting statistics of Kapil Dev. You see how many times Sunil Gavaskar was in the team, how many times Sunil Gavaskar was standing on the boundary, and put some other parameters as well. And then you run linear regression. It will tell you how much percentage probability is there that there is a correlation between the two. That is the beauty of predictive analytics, which you see on your screen as point number 3. Now tell me, as a finance professional, as auditor, or even as a chartered accountant, how many times what I'm just sharing with you, how many times you have done that? Very, very few of you may have even tried it. Very few of you. That is where the value is. That is where the organizations are saying, please forget about first descriptive analytics, because that even the HR leader will say, my HR manager can give me. CEO will say, oh, my sales manager will give me. What value you are adding? The value is in step number 2, 3, and 4, because that is what we as finance professionals, we can provide. Data science, which I keep talking about, is nothing but building block of what all of you have already learned while becoming chartered accountant. You learned statistics. You learned mathematics. Yeah, you learned probability. These 3 are the foundational building block for adding value to the organization through diagnostic analysis, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. Yeah, I'll give you an example in the next slide. Suppose a retail company experienced a decline. My screen. So, a decline in profitability. An internal auditor decided to perform descriptive analytics on sales data to pinpoint the root cause. Now, when someone has to find the root cause, please understand, what we are saying, that we already know that there is a decline in profitability. So first analysis, which is descriptive analysis, what happened, we already know. That is given in this example as first statement. What the auditor is trying to do? Auditor is trying to pinpoint the root cause. Root cause means why decline happened. And the moment, ladies and gentlemen, you start going into finding why, it means you are graduating to step number 2, which is diagnostic. Why this happened? That is what this internal auditor is trying to find out. So by analyzing sales trend over different time period and across various product categories, the auditor noticed an interesting pattern. What pattern he noticed? That there was a significant drop in sales for a high margin product line. So earlier he knew that the profitability has reduced. Why it has reduced? Reason number 1 he found that that particular product which was giving higher margin, its sale has reduced. So when he found this particular part, that the sale of high margin product has reduced, this is, ladies and gentlemen, still a descriptive analytics. He at the next level is still finding what happened. It is still a what. Yeah. Next, let's see what he found. And this was coinciding with a recent change in the marketing strategy. So what actually happened in this case? The company had changed the focus of its marketing budget. So instead of spending more on the high margin product, the company spent more of its ads budget on promoting the economy product line. Yeah, so that they could sell more to the masses. So while that increased marginally, but usme margin was also less. The profit, the EBITDA was less. Since they focus less on the high margin product, their sale dropped, and hence they reduced on the it reduced their profitability. So this is here what happened. The auditor compared the sales data with the marketing spends data. Very similar to my example of Kapil Dev and Sunil Gavaskar. 2 data points were being evaluated. Similarly, here the auditor evaluated 2 data points, sales and marketing spends, to find out whether there was a correlation between these 2 items. He found it. The moment he found it, it means there is a positive correlation between the marketing strategy and the sales of that company. And what does that mean? When you use linear regression, ladies and gentlemen, it gives you a formula that in future, if the company increases its spend in marketing by 10 lakh rupees, for example, how much increase in sales and profitability can expect? Prediction, linear regression can do. Now you may say, Rajiv, sounds very good, but sounds very complex also. Absolutely not. After this webinar, you just search on YouTube, how to perform linear regression in Excel. You will learn in 20 minutes. You don't need advanced tool. Excel is sufficient. Microsoft has done an amazing job in upgrading Excel. Whether chartered accountants, we upgrade or not, Microsoft is upgrading Excel. So many of these emerging machine learning algorithms, they have automated in the backend. They are giving you drop downs. So what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to try linear regression in Excel, there is an add-in which is available. Again, add-in can be installed in 30 seconds. There is an add-in called data analysis. Yeah, that's a add-in available in Excel. You download it. 30 seconds you can download. And when you click on that add-in, let me see if I have it in my Excel here. Let me see. Correct, I have. Yeah. So Neha, can you see my Excel right now? Very good. So very good. So thanks for confirming, Neha. So guys, if you see, when I opened Excel, I went to this tab called data, and I have downloaded both these add-ins, data analysis and solver. Solver is for specific purpose. This is where we do the optimization. Yeah. For example, if you want to say Zomato, yeah, or Zomato, Ola, Uber, when they want to make sure uh, uh, which of their rider to be assigned to whom. So, for example, if Neha or Miloni wants to order something, they have thousands and thousands of their delivery boys near them. Which one to allocate so that he will reach the fastest from where he is to the restaurant, and then he will be able to deliver to Neha and Miloni. They have to do optimization study, and Solver is something which you can use for that. Yeah. Now, but I will click on data analysis because this is amazing tool here. I clicked on it. Yeah. So then this page opens up. Yeah. There you will see there are so many amazing options which are available, but I will click on regression. This is what I was referring. Yeah. This is I was referring to input range. It's very easy to use. You have to just you have to just select the area for these 2-3 columns you have to populate. And then, for example, if you see confidence level, by default, you will see it is 95%. If you want to increase or reduce, you can do it. By default, in the business, we use 95%. Only pharma industry, any industry which has to make decision relating to the human life, they go 99.99%. 99.7 is generally accepted as far as medicines, pharma is concerned. But for business decisions, even if I'm 95% confident, yeah, it is more than sufficient. Because 5% chance my decision will go wrong. And in business, we know that decisions are subjective, judgmental. So 95% confidence in business decisions is very, very good. So by default, we keep it that way. So I just wanted to show this option to you. This is amazing, amazing add-in as far as Excel is concerned. Let me see if I can show you how we do it. So if I, for example, you see I have gone to home and I am click on add-in. Do I need to click on that? No, let me see. Yeah, so you can search from here also, and I think you go to file and then more, then maybe options. Yeah, and then yeah, correct. That's fine. That's correct. So I will do it again. So I clicked on file, then I clicked on more, then I clicked on options, and there you see on the left hand side is a panel. The second last option is add-ins. So I clicked on add-ins. Yeah. And then see manage Excel. Then I clicked on go correct. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, let's see. Okay. So this type of window will come, which will say add-ins available. Since I have already downloaded this analysis tool pack, so it is coming check mark for me. If you have not downloaded, this box will be empty, just like my Euro currency tool box. That box is empty. So you have to click on it so that the tick mark comes. Click this analysis tool pack as well as this solver add-in. Just keep it there. There is no harm in adding in. It will not have any bad impact on you, even if you don't use it. And then click on OK. The moment you click on OK, and if you go to data tab, both the options will start appearing here. And then weekend is coming, then you enjoy playing in Excel and the machine learning capabilities which Microsoft is giving to you. Yeah. So with that, so we discussed this example of how this internal auditor moved, firstly performed descriptive analytics, and then also performed diagnostic analysis that why profitability reduced. It reduced because sale of their high margin product sale reduced, and that happened because of reduction in the marketing budget spent on high margin product line. Yeah. Now coming to the next important aspect, which is becoming a very common discussion point, that will AI replace us as humans? See, my point is, uh, see, future, you know, we are talking about, people are talking about that AI will replace, some people are saying AI will replace humans, but what the experts are finding, that only very low level jobs, are going to AI, and their humans will be replaced. Fortunately, none of us who is on this webinar is doing that low level job. For example, a job which is highly repetitive. Example, in shared services, in back office, yeah, there were people and there are people who full day job, 8 hours job is to create purchase orders. In back office, shared services, there are many people who do, once the invoices, the vendor invoices come, their job is to scan those. When they scan, then that OCR reader reads 90-95% of it correctly. Their job is to, wherever it has read it incorrectly, they just correct those numbers, they save it. Yeah. These are very, very straightforward, repetitive tasks, which are already going to AI and ML. Yeah. Sometime back, they were going to RPA, robotic process automation, where there was no intelligence required. But now with AI and ML becoming much more easier to use, even in the second example which I gave, where he has had to do some amount of corrections, some amount of value he had to add, even that is going to the machine learning. And those type of low-level jobs, they are going away. Yeah? Fortunately, we as chartered accountants, we are doing much more than those low-level tasks. What experts are finding, ladies and gentlemen, that the exponential value of artificial intelligence won't come from by only throwing those low-level employees out of the company. By that, organizations will be saving few lakhs or maybe few crores, obviously multiply their salary, multiply by number of those employees. What the companies are, what these experts are finding, that the exponential value will come through augmented intelligence. Yeah. Augmented intelligence, not only artificial intelligence. When someone says AI will replace human beings, it means you are out, machine will run. No, that is happening, that will happen, but that is not the real value. The real value is augmented intelligence, and I will share with you what does that mean. See, this is a very interesting, cartoon, and it gives message really well. So when we say who loves AI, all of you who are on this webinar right now, you love AI. That is why you are, attending this this webinar, understanding what is happening in this space. But then when that person asked who is willing to deal with ethical guidelines of AI, then nobody was interested. Then when he asked who is willing to take responsibility of the decisions and actions of that algorithm, everybody ran away. Now you may say, why everybody ran away? It is because all these people who are standing there, suppose they learned AI ML, they created an algorithm which is running of its own. Yani, so you replaced a human being and you asked that algorithm to do its task. Now tomorrow, suppose there was a human being doing that job, he made a mistake. You know whom to scold. You know whom to ask to leave the company. You know whose annual assessment may to give him feedback that Baba, please improve next year. But in case you have asked that person to go out and you replaced it with the algorithm, a software, a code. Now that code made a mistake. Whom you will scold? The person who wrote the code, he's sitting in Las Vegas or Goa or somewhere else enjoying his drink. It was the code who was working. Now, who will be held responsible for the mistake? This, ladies and gentlemen, is an unanswered question. We can always debate, we can always argue, we can spend hours having hours discussing our own point of views, but there is no consensus which is coming. And that is where, for example, those of you who have been to US, you would have noticed one very important change. And what is that change? That change, for example, is in the communication of Tesla. Earlier, Tesla used to say, we make driverless cars. Now, when they were saying we make driverless cars, the question which nobody was able to answer is, if that car crashes, yeah, who will hold responsibility? The owner who was sitting as a passenger, but he will say, I didn't write the code. I purchased the car. I was sitting in the passenger seat, on the passenger seat. Can we hold Elon Musk responsible for it? He said, I leveraged new technology. Whatever was the best possible code that could be written, my data scientist wrote that code. There is no bug in the code. Only that a cow all of a sudden came, and this is India. A cow can come on the road, a cat can come on the road, dog can come on the road, sheep can come on the road, human beings can all of a sudden come on the road. And the car was not prepared for this type of eventuality, and hence the accident happened. Now, whom you hold responsible? Since this question was not getting answered, those of you who have been to US recently and would have, traveled in Tesla would have seen that now it is mandatory for someone having driver's license to sit on the driver's seat as well. Yeah. Even though he doesn't need to drive, that car will drive of its own, but that someone has to sit there. Why? Because now the Tesla is saying, we provide you advanced features. We provide you driving assistance. We are not driverless cars. Ladies and gentlemen, now here what has happened. Earlier, Tesla said, my AI will replace human, which is the driver. Now they are saying, no, they both will work together. While my car will provide a lot of advanced features of driving itself, making sure the car is not going out of that lane, or will alert you or applies little bit brake in case the distance between the two cars is below the tolerance and all those things. But there has to be a human in the loop. This is very important. People are understanding that to make sure that the responsibility and accountabilities are very clearly set, humans in the loop is mandatory. And when you bring humans into the loop, that is where it becomes augmented intelligence. What does that mean? Either you are augmented, either you are using AI to augment human intelligence, or you are using AI to augment humans' physical capability. One of these two things you are doing to support human in doing better, either physically or mentally. This is where, ladies and gentlemen, experts are finding higher value of the artificial intelligence coming to human mankind. So in the years to come, you will see that we'll start talking less about AI. We'll start talking more about augmented intelligence. How, and everybody will start asking, how this AI is going to help me in one of these two things. Either mentally make me better, which is happening through machine learning, which is happening through data science, or help make me better physically. For example, you would have seen that many of these emerging technologies are being used to create those, for example, artificial hand. If someone, especially in the case of our army veterans, defense veterans, who unfortunately in war type of situation, they lose, sometimes they lose their leg, they lose their arm. Now, to make sure that they can continue doing better as compared to being in that handicap situation, these AI ML is being used to provide them those artificial arms, artificial legs, which are connected through brain. Standard, no, normal artificial arms, legs, and all those things, they were there, but they were like pure artificial. But now these emerging technologies are being used to provide them those um, uh, supplements by which they can, to a great extent, they can, those arms and those legs can operate. They can operate the way the real arms and legs operate, because they are getting connected with the brain. Yeah, that is another important, beautiful example of how artificial intelligence can be used to augment human physical limitations. Yeah, and that is where the human in the loop is going to become very common. Now, as I was uh, sharing, that we all, as chartered accountants, we have amazing foundations as far as understanding uh, data science is concerned. And this picture I have added because many times, when I speak in the conferences, participants ask me, Rajiv, what all is included? What all we need to learn in case any one of us is interested in data science? So this is very good pictorial representation of what all you need to do as a data scientist. One very important thing, soft skill. Yeah, maybe we'll not go deeper into it, but the idea is, we as chartered accountants, we can do better job in data science as compared to our colleagues who are pure techies, our colleagues who are pure computer engineers, because they are the one who can do better coding, quite possible, maybe better coding than us. They may do faster coding than us, but the value is not in there. The value is in, number one, understanding what is written. Number two, communicating to our business stakeholders that what is the message coming from this data analysis. And that is where, ladies and gentlemen, what you see in the top, soft skills become very important. Your skills about storytelling, your skills about presentations, your skill about critical thinking and problem solving skills become very important. In my experience, me being a chartered accountant, I know if I compare across different professions, chartered accountant, be it storytelling, be it critical thinking, problem solving, this is something where we are much better prepared, much better ready for the real world as compared to our colleagues who are from different domains. They may be better technically in all other things which you see the lower part of your screen, but the biggest value comes from you being in between the business as well as the techies. That is where the program management skills comes in, and that is where the highest value I have seen we as chartered accountants can add in different spaces, be it as internal auditor, be it as business finance leader, or be it as financial planning and reporting. The different ways in which chartered accountants can add value using data science concepts. Yeah. Then in one of my, I think it was a national or international ICI conference, where after my session, one young dynamic chartered accountant came and said, Rajiv, yes, good, okay, data science important, but I don't need to learn coding because ChatGPT hai na. I will ask ChatGPT to write that linear regression ka coding which you just said, or coding if not even required. Whatever you said after this webinar, learn from YouTube. Why I need to learn? ChatGPT is there. I will just ask it. I will give a prompt and it will do for me. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the case. Yes, ChatGPT is there, but ChatGPT cannot. These conversational AI, they cannot do everything for us. And that is where I wanted to share this, Gartner study with all of you, where they have, what that young dynamic chartered accountant was saying. Gartner tried everything, yeah, of what our fellow CA was of the view. And what they have found that, and I will start from the bottom of what you see on your screen. they found that if it is about content creation, if it is about conversational, machine learning, if it is about knowledge and its discovery, that is where these generative AI are very, very useful. But as you keep moving more towards the prediction side, the optimization side of what we are supposed to do, that is where a lot more technicalities are required. Generative AI is not best suited. Chat GPT is not best suited to do the complex technical task. And that is where Gartner also found that the utility of ChatGPT and other generative AI is very, very low in that space. And hence, the demand for you as chartered accountant and data science professional is going to be on higher side. ChatGPT is not your competitor. ChatGPT is competitor for those of us. For example, on LinkedIn, you see many people are content creator. They write that we are content creator. They're for them, ChatGPT and generative AI is a strong competition. Yeah, because they have the ChatGPT has it as its strength. It is very strong in content creation. But you and me, we are not really into content creation. We are into solving complex business problems. We are into looking at the business risks, control risk, and that is where generative AI is not a competition. It is okay. Generative AI is not really going to help us. Either we need to upskill ourselves, or we need to have those people in our team who have upskilled themselves so that we can complement, or so that they can complement us in those areas. Coming back to Nokia CEO, so when he said we didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost. So no, I just wanted to summarize. It happened because when the world was changing, when the newer technologies were emerging, Nokia knew that those are coming, but they kept their eyes closed. They thought, if today people are loving it for what we are doing, even tomorrow they will continue to love us for what we are doing today. But that doesn't, world doesn't operate that way. People like those ways of working which are convenient, which are more efficient, and which solve their problem. And that is where Nokia lost it. Nokia is only one example. Kodak lost it. Ambassador lost it. Padmani Premier Car lost it. Rajdoot Motorcycle lost it. But take another beautiful example. Royal Enfield. It didn't lose. Why? Because they said, we will go as per the time. Today, people prefer spending on lifestyle. So they said, we will retain our original Bullet motorcycle, because there are some of our users, customers who like the classic, the real original Royal Enfield. But they said there are many who like colorful bikes, yellow, orange, red. But you remember, Royal Enfield used to be black. Yeah? So that said, we have an audience who like it, so we'll retain it. But our customer base, their preference is changing. So they brought in new colors. They said they also want to spend on lifestyle. So you see, Royal Enfield came up with helmets, different color, different design helmet. They came up with jackets. They came up with toolkits. They came up with those things which current generation like. And hence, again, if not number one, I don't follow bike industry, by a two-wheel industry, but I think when I look at the bikes on the road, they should be in top three again. Yeah, that's my feel. And they are doing really, really well. Why? Because they understood what is changing around them, how the customer preference around them is changing. So with that, last couple of slides, and then I will open up for Q&A. Couple of closing remarks, ladies and gentlemen. First is, based on what I'm seeing around us, I don't think that my view is that AI won't replace internal auditors, but the internal auditors who are using AI, they are going to replace auditors who are not using AI. Very simple, no rocket science in it. That is something which is going to happen very soon. So we have, I think, around 3 lakh plus professionals, of which X number would be internal auditors. So in future, in very near future, all of us who are internal auditors, we will be classified into 2 buckets. You have to decide in which bucket you want to be. Choice is yours. There will be no third option. I don't think so. The last last point I wanted to share, that the real danger is not that the computers are learning to be internal auditors. The real danger is that internal auditors are becoming computer-like. What does that mean? It means earlier, what you were expecting from computer to go by checklist. What was computer and why computer and humans were different? Humans were considered as creative. Computer, a black box. You type, it will do. Unfortunately, today it is opposite. AI, because of AI and generative AI, computers are becoming creative. And internal auditors are becoming checklist driven. If my checklist says that this has to be A, this has to be A. We have stopped being creative. So we have actually become computer, and computer have become creative. That is not a very healthy situation where we need to be as chartered accountants. And this is where, based on my experience as audit head of of a group company, I see that is where many of us as internal auditors, we are doing mistake. We are becoming too much checklist driven, too much fixed mindset, whereas we are supposed to be creative and computers were supposed to be checklist driven. Yeah. So with that, I will stop here. Those of you who want to connect with me, I am on LinkedIn and this is my QR code. Happy to get connected. If you want to know more, feel free to ask questions right now. We have some time, or feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn as well. I will stop sharing my screen. And now over to Neha and Miloni in case you see any question coming up for me.
Yeah. Hi all. Very good evening to everyone present here. As we conclude today's session, I would like to express my thanks to CA Rajiv Gupta for this impressive session, which has not only provided us with insights of using artificial intelligence, then automation and machine language during our internal audit, but also the urgency of upskilling in our profession, which will guide us in conducting future audits. So now I'm moving to question and answer sessions. There is one question to any which says any customizable software or application available to assist in internal audit program.
Customized application to assist in internal audit. See, maybe the question can be more detailed. Maybe the follow-up question can come from our colleague. If the question is around audit program as what needs to be tested as far as risk in that process is concerned, I think there are many of the consulting firms, they have come up with their risk and control matrix, and that needs to be customized for industry to industry. For example, if you're auditing procure to pay process, while you have standard set of audit program to be reviewed, but what are the specific risks, for example, in a paints industry versus in e-commerce are very, very different. Yeah. Similarly, in case of sales, similarly in case of payroll and others. So customization has to happen based on that industry itself. But if your question is about, I don't know specifically what the question is about. I need
software or application available.
Sorry?
Any software or application available to assist in internal audit?
See, application available to assist in internal audit still not very clear. Maybe if that colleague is listening to me, they can type more. If we are talking about assistance in data analysis, if we are talking about assistance in documentation, for documentation, there are many applications available. How we document what we need to do in audit planning, audit fieldwork, audit closing, and so on. So if the question is more specific, I can I can help. Yeah. Any other question in the meantime, Neha?
How to remain upskill?
How keep attending these type of webinars and conferences. Really appreciate the ICAI and it's the office bearers in terms of amazing job they are doing, conducting such type of programs where we all are exchanging our ideas, listening to each other, understanding what is happening across the globe. So keep listening. For example, I shared few simple tricks with you today. Maybe since the weekend is around the corner, you can over the weekend you can try a linear regression. You can I shared a diagram of what all is included in data science. So if some of those things excite you, maybe storytelling, maybe critical thinking, you can go deeper into it. I really like applications like Udemy and others, where you can, without spending bomb of money, you can in 300, 400 rupees, you can upskill yourself, on some of these areas. I use, for example, apps like Udemy very much. I spend 300, 400 rupees on each course. That course is of 10, 12 hours, 15 hours. But those 10, 15 hours, the ROI of those 400 rupees, 10 hours of learning is amazing. So if one of you is interested, there are so many amazing avenues with us. Pick up any component and just spend a weekend learning.
Yeah, another question is, how is the use of technology in other countries by internal auditor?
Interestingly, so I speak across the globe, from India to US, Australia, and others. We are way ahead. Yeah, they talk a lot. Other countries, they talk a lot, but in practical implementation, they are really behind us. We as Indians, we are very straightforward. If we are not doing, we don't even talk about it. Our colleagues in Western countries, they talk a lot, they do less. So we are actually ahead of them. They are learning from us.
Yeah, these are all the questions that I had for the evening today.
Very good.
It was an amazing session, really. And
thank you so much. And yeah,
came to my mind that now we have to start working on upskilling.
Very good. Good to know that. Good to know that, Neha.
Yeah.
And any one of you can reach out to me after this session as well. I'm pretty much active on LinkedIn. In case you have any follow-up question, feel free to drop me a message there as well. And whatever help, guidance I can provide, I would happy to do that. And with that, thank you so much once again to ICI and the Board of Internal Audits to for organizing this session, so that we can have this type of interactive discussion. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Yes. Yes, we can conclude. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.